welcome back to Blue Flag Bandits, the series that drives F1's worst cars since 2010, so you don't have to, in the often desperate hunt for points. And we arrive at the flyaway section of the season, Marina Bay Street Circuit for the Singapore Grand Prix, our most successful circuit in this series. Talking of success, we arrive here after a fairly dominant victory at Monza. A victory that actually we've been threatening since back at Germany, if not even further back at Austria, but one that has been hard fought thanks to the unique way the F1 2016 AI do wheel-to-wheel battling. It means, though, that we come into this one on a high, and P12 in the driver's standings, doubling our points tally essentially after that result in Italy. At the top of things, Lewis Hamilton didn't finish in Monza. He was 8 by turn 1, still 79 points clear of Max Verstappen though, and you feel that championship is heading to the Brit, with Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen a further 10 back in 3rd and 4th. Bottas may have caused the incident in Italy. He's 5th ahead of Rosberg. Rosberg's in 7th, his title defence going poorly. Massa, who won back at Belgium, is in 8th. Then it's Perez, Hulkenberg, Button. There we are, winner from Italy, 12th. Ahead of Alonso, who we finally beat the rivalry on. Then it's Kvyat, Magnussen. Wehrlein picked up more points last time out and is on 15 for the season. He's ahead of Sainz, Gutierrez, Nasser and Palmer. Grosjean and Ericsson yet to get off the mark. In the Constructors, Mercedes lead Ferrari by 70 points. Ferrari themselves only 8 clear of Red Bull. And there's a bit of a gap to Williams, who've got a bit of a gap to Force India, who've got a bit of a gap to McLaren, who've got a bit of a gap back to us. And we move back in front of Toro Rosso with that result, and with a decent chunk of points in hand on them. Renault have got points, Haas have got points, and Sauber have got points, but Sauber remain rooted to the bottom of the standings, and that is where we're heading next season. So that should be fun. But Marina Bay, I did say it's the most successful circuit in this series. If we take a look, once we failed to score. That was 2014 driving for Caterham. We got a 10th in 2010, a 4th in 2011, a 2nd in 2012, one of 2 that finished the race, a 10th in 2013, 18th in 2014, and then 4th last season in the McLaren. But last time out, as I said, we won at Italy. It's only our 2nd win of the entire series. This car, full of potential. This circuit, somewhere we've been very good. But it is a street circuit with barriers that aren't far away, and we've seen quite a few times this season we've been tipped into barriers that are either right next to us or very far away from us. And yet somehow we've still managed to miss out on picking up good points across the year. Maybe then this could be a bit more of a difficult round. Hopefully though, we can have a good time out at Marina Bay. We'll go practice. While we do, we'll talk about the real world. 2016 Singapore Grand Prix. The original night race was the destination for the next round of the 2016 championship as the teams and drivers headed to Singapore. The title fight was evenly balanced, with the Mercedes drivers separated by 2 points coming into this one. Hamilton just ahead of Rosberg. The first practice session saw many drivers cut the barriers around the Marina Bay circuit, most at turn 21, including Vettel, the German pushing hard to improve his time. He wouldn't hit the barriers as substantially as Rosberg though, who would go straight on at turn 18 and take off his front wing. Grosjean and Button would also suffer problems during their runs. The top 3 would be Verstappen, Ricciardo and Vettel. Grosjean would suffer further setbacks during the second practice, the Frenchman limping back to the pits with a damaged rear wing. Further up the order, Hamilton would be sidelined for a long period with a hydraulic problem hampering his race simulation runs. The other Mercedes of Rosberg would top the times ahead of Raikkonen and Verstappen. Practice 3 was a red flag disruptive affair, Pascal Wehrlein damaging his rear wing after colliding with the barriers, while Verstappen came face to face with a lizard on track as he returned to the pits. Hamilton would continue to struggle, going off track twice after locking up. There would be no such problems for Rosberg though, who once again topped the times ahead of the hard-charging Verstappen and Kimi Raikkonen. The opening part of qualifying would be as far as Sebastian Vettel would go, the German reporting issues with his anti-roll bar during his lap, meaning he'd be doomed to start from last. This gave one of the back marker cars an opportunity to get through, with Marcus Ericsson being the driver to do so. This meant that joining Vettel in the drop zone would be Nasser, Magnussen, Palmer, Ocon and Vela. The second part of qualifying would see a pair of drivers fall victim to the barriers. Grosjean snapped into the barriers at turn 10 on his lap, while Button would pick up a puncture brushing the barriers on his. Both would fall in Q2, alongside the pair of Williams, Marcus Ericsson and Esteban Gutierrez. Q3 would be delayed while repairs to the barriers were undertaken after Grosjean's crash, but once it got going, it looked like Red Bull could challenge the silver cars at top of times. The hopes would be dashed quickly though, as Rosberg popped in a rapid time. Hamilton struggled to match his teammate, and his second run was scruffy, leaving Rosberg to take pole. Red Bull would manage to disrupt the front row though, Ricciardo pipping Hamilton. The rest of the top 10 would be completed by Verstappen, Raikkonen, Sainz, Kvyat, Hülkenberg, Alonso and Perez. Both Mercedes made good starts, so it wouldn't be enough for Hamilton to jump Ricciardo ahead. Before the championship leader could attempt to attack the Australian, chaos behind led to an immediate safety car. Verstappen had got away poorly, compromised further by a spinning Hülkenberg who was caught between the Toro Rossos, sending the Force India into the barriers at the race. It would only be a short intervention, racing getting going just a lap later, catching a marshal out as he sprinted back to his post as the field sped past. Ricciardo was closing in on Rosberg in the early laps, the German being warned about high brake temperatures, but the Mercedes was able to edge away from his challenger. Ricciardo was the first of the leaders to pit on lap 15, followed in by Hamilton, who was frustrated to see soft tyres waiting for him. The Brit believed this to be too conservative a strategy to catch Ricciardo, especially as Hamilton was having the same brake issues as his teammate Rosberg. Hamilton's fears would prove to be correct. Ricciardo was pulling away on softer tyres, closing on the other Mercedes, while Hamilton found himself under pressure from Raikkonen behind. The Finn wouldn't be behind for long though. The Brit ran wide at turn 7 and gifted third to the Ferrari. Mercedes used the setback to switch their strategy, bringing Hamilton in for super soft tyres to push to the end of the race. Ferrari could have left Raikkonen out to try and stay ahead, but they chose to bring Kimi in, leaving him powerless to stop the undercut as Hamilton breezed by. Rosberg would take the victory, but by just half a second from the fast Ricciardo, while Hamilton would complete the podium, ceding the championship lead to his teammate. The top 10 would be completed by Raikkonen, Vettel, who had fought back from last, Verstappen, Alonso, Perez, Kvyat and Kevin Magnussen. Arrived at Singapore after taking a surprise but comfortable victory at Monza to really get our season back on track, and this has been our most successful circuit in this series, so hopes are high. We should be able to fight for a Q3 here, just because we're so confident with this circuit and I don't understand how. So we'll aim for a solid 6th place and see if we can be in the hunt for another strong result under the lights at Marina Bay.
It's late in the evening here in Singapore and it's time for qualifying, so settle down and enjoy the action. This is the kind of track that eats rear tyres for breakfast, or so I'm told by more experienced drivers than myself.
Well, tyre management is key here, specifically the rears. It's all too easy to overheat and wear the rear tyres as they're punished out of the low-speed corners. Most teams won't be able to avoid some kind of issue here, especially the teams that are running less downforce.
Thank you very much, and Crofty, and here we are Q1 at Singapore, practice was alright, just kind of muddling our way through, but we have picked up a new rival. We are now against Jenson Button, so we're against our previous selves and the other McLaren.
To view current strategy and race objectives, press the MFD button to open the multifunction display, and then press it again to cycle through till you reach the strategy and objective screen.
Thanks, Jeff. So yeah, this now becomes another fight with another McLaren. I keep saying how successful I am around here. Qualifying might not be our strong suit though, so it's best if we try and get out there and get some laps on the board, see if we can make our way into Q2 once again. Again, our fastest lap in Q1 turned out to be our first lap of the session, heading across the start-finish line into 1, 2, 3 and 4. Pretty quick all after each other, riding the curbs quite nicely and keeping away from the outside on our exit through 3, and then we head down to turn number 4, this sharp right-hander. Little off the apex, but not too bad, keeping away from the wall as well, which is quite handy. Don't want to be picking up damage this early in the lap. Down the Raffles Boulevard and down towards turn number 5. At least I think this is 5, this could easily be 7, run a little bit wide as we get bouncing over the curb, but you can carry so much more speed through there. In through that next corner, I think that's turn 8, we just about avoid the barrier. Same at turn 9, just avoiding the barrier that juts out on the outside. Down towards where the Singapore Sling used to be, this gradient left. Bounce over the curb on the inside. It doesn't unsettle us too much, same goes for 11 and through 12 quite nicely as we cross the Anderson Bridge into this hairpin at 13. A little away from the apex, but again you can slingshot this and keep to the outside to put the power down nice and early down this back straight. Into another 90-degree right. This circuit is full of them, and again, riding the curb, but keeping well away from the exit apex. Not sure why, just couldn't get that angle quite right on this lap. Through this tight technical section at the end of the lap, we're riding the curbs everywhere we can, but also trying to keep away from the barriers. Going under the grandstand, but again, trying to just keep as far away from barriers on the inside and outside as possible. You can really ride the curbs in these penultimate few corners. That's exactly what we do to shave as much time off as we head to the final corner of the lap. Waiting to get the power down fully, but we cross the line. It's a good lap. Should see us through to the next part. At the end of Q1, and we are through in P12. Jenson Button a couple of spots ahead of us there. Not feeling particularly comfortable in this session. I don't know whether it's just trying to push just a little too hard, but Daniel Ricciardo tops the times, and it's Perez, Rosberg and Hulkenberg. What is going on up at the front? We're ahead of Vettel, who went on the soft tyre. Kvyat gets through, Grosjean gets through, Carlos Sainz gets through. Pascal does not, he's 17th. Ahead of Gutierrez, Palmer, Ericsson, Nava and Magnussen. I have a feeling, though, that this might be as far as we get. Q2 looks to be even tougher, which, considering as I'm struggling for pace, might see us knocked out and having to fight from midfield. But let's cross to Q2, see if we can pull something out the back. In the garage there for Q2 at Singapore, not feeling massively comfortable so far in this qualifying session. Don't know what it is. I'm normally pretty good round here, but maybe just starting to feel the effects of the last race. Recording a few episodes back to back today, and this is hopefully the last one for today. And yeah, starting to feel just a little drained. Maybe that's taking it out of me going through these tight, twisty streets. But I've pulled a lap out the bag before, not just here, but across the seasons, so maybe we can find one today. Let's see what Q2 has in store. This lap went in Q2, and it took a second lap to get to this, even though our first one, pretty good anyway, into turns 1, 2 and 3, really taking as much curb as possible. Really limit with the track limits there, but we're safe and we still have a valid lap on the board as we head into turn number 4. 2 bites of the chariot getting in there, and again keeping away from the wall on the outside to avoid any unnecessary wing damage. Heading down now through the Raffles Boulevard to turn number 5, heavy on the brakes. In fact, turn number 7, forgive me. Purple Saxo 1 is we're looking pretty good as we go through 8 and keeping away from the barriers once again. At least through 7 we weren't as wide. very wide into the entrance at 9 now, just avoid the barrier on the outside, maybe even graze it slightly as we head down towards the old Singapore Slim. Keep the pace up through there really nicely, through turn 11, away from the curve this time, which actually compromises our run through the middle point of that chicane, but across the Anderson Bridge and into the hairpin. Time is on the borderline for us, and you can see we're slipping down the top 10 as we gun it down this back straight once again to another 90-degree right. I think this run is called Celebration, turn 14, as we round it quite nicely, keeping away again from the apexes, but now we're really starting to use the track limits to our advantage, riding the curves as much as we can without going too far. Almost clip the inside barrier as we come to the grandstand section, avoid it, and manage to keep the lap going. Again, over the curves. Time is now down, but it is marginal as we now head towards the final corner. Keep our foot in it as much as possible, run a little bit wide on the exit, but it's an improvement. Is it enough to see us through? In the garage then for Q3 at Singapore, we scraped into this session, and I don't think we've got a massive amount more pace. So, I think we're just going to go for the one flying lap, see what we get, see where we end up. We're on our fastest and only lap in Q3, gunning towards the line, running wide, and actually getting a nice slingshot over the line as we head into 1, 2 and 3. Again, bouncing over the curves like we did in Q2, just to shave as much time off as we can, but we run a little bit wide before taking this little kink through 4 into turn number 5. Calling 4 for most of the weekend so far. Run a little wide on entry, but that actually allows us to straighten up a bit and push forwards as we head through turn number 6 and then down towards turn number 7 at the end of Raffles Boulevard. Run very wide here, actually only just keeping the car on the curbs as we head through turn 8. Clip the apex a little bit and bounce off the wall ever so slightly. Isn't going to cost me too much, I don't think, but again, will compromise our lap time just a touch through turn 9, well away from the barriers as we head down towards the old Slim. Again, cross curves like we were in Q2. A little unsettled through 11 because of it, but we get through 12 nicely and across the Anderson Bridge, and then round the hairpin at 13, well away from the inside apex, but at least we can then put our foot flat to the floor earlier as we head down this back straight towards Celebration into turn number 14 here. Keeping well away from that outside apex because it can unsettle you when you're on the power, and then we get into this technical section at the end of the lap, bouncing over it all over the curves once again, taking the shortest possible line without getting penalised for it as we almost go too close to the wall through the entrance to the grandstand. We're into the final few corners now. We're actually a little bit more conservative in Q3 than we were in Q2 with those curves as we head towards the final corner. Lifting off a little bit too much, maybe keeping it within track limits nicely. It's a decent lap where we end up.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top 3. Hamilton, Rosberg and Max Verstappen. The grid is set then, so that just leaves the race itself. Join us tomorrow, where we'll be live with all the action. And until then, it's goodbye.
Well, seeing as Felipe Massa didn't set a lap time in Q3, we'll start Singapore in 9th, just behind Alonso. Hamilton takes pole ahead of Rosberg, and it's Verstappen, Ricciardo, Vettel, Hülkenberg, and then Raikkonen. I think that's about as fast as we were really going. I don't think I could have done any more. The race is going to be a very different kettle of fish. Hopefully we can, though, continue our impressive points record here in Singapore. Let's cross to the race. See if we can.
Hello and welcome one and all to the shining streets of Singapore. Can you believe we've been coming here for nearly a decade now? It feels like only yesterday that Felipe Massa was dragging his fuel hose down the pit lane in that eventful opening race, and in a Grand Prix won from pole position more often than not, will we see a new victor crowned today? Situated just 88 miles north of the equator, this 3.5-mile circuit is hot, it's humid, and is an incredible test for the drivers as they try to fight their cars around the bumps and in between the barriers. 23 corners take us twice over the bay to complete a single lap of this unique racetrack. The view is spectacular, the heat is unbearable. The race should be incredible. Anthony Davidson is alongside me in the commentary box this evening, and big race this one, a real test of endurance. Sounds right up your alley. Wouldn't you just love to be down there on the grid right now?
You know what, Crofty? I'm pretty happy to be up here in my air conditioning, thank you, right now. I can't stress just how difficult these conditions can be, especially when you consider it's the longest race on the calendar in terms of time. It's also one of those races where you have to remember to keep drinking, or there's a real risk of dehydration. Just like we saw with young Kevin Magnussen a couple of years ago, don't forget. We mentioned the bumps as well. Take a look at the onboards if you get a chance during this race. The movement in the suspension and the chassis is just incredible, and it's lots of hard work to wrestle the car around a lap here.
See if you can manage 14th or better today. Good luck.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Nico Rosberg completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Sebastian Vettel, and Hülkenberg, Raikkonen, Alonso, Amana, and Felipe Massa, Perez, Bottas, Romain Grosjean, and Kvyat, Button, Sainz, Pascal Wehrlein, and Esteban Gutierrez. Palmer and Ericsson, Felipe Nasser, and Kevin Magnussen rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Thank you very much, Ant and Crofty. And once again, it is a wet race to contend with. It is heavy rain, full weather conditions at Singapore, and the kind of conditions you don't want here, if I'm honest. That could work in our favour. Who knows? We might actually have pace in these conditions compared to the rest of the guys on the grid. We may really struggle for pace. We're P9 off the line, which is a nice place to be. We're in the points to start, but it is going to be tricky, I think, to hold this. Objectives wise, P10 is all I really want. 1 point. Let's just get one more point on the board. Another race at Singapore with a point. That will do. Although conditions like this, if it remains heavy rain all the way through as well, or even if it just goes down to intermediate conditions, this could cause absolute chaos. We saw what it was like in Italy in the rain. We saw what it was like in Belgium in the rain. Who knows what could happen at somewhere like Singapore? But this is going to be a tricky one. Going to have my wits about. So let's get the 5 red lights on and out again for the 2016 Singapore Grand Prix. Come the lights down, 3 lights, 4 lights and 5. And away we go at Singapore. The hold wasn't too long. Not too bad, but we're not really gaining on the guys in front. Massa though, trying to send it up our inside. It's all got a little bit, been a bit of contact there. I think Massa was up our inside.
Okay, the
safety car is out.
The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
6th, but it is a safety car. Go around this full first lap basically at a reduced pace. So just sent up into turn 1. Bounced into us, we bounced into Raikkonen, I think. Maybe Hülkenberg as well. We've come out of that damage free by the looks of it. Yeah, bounced around like a bit of a pinball as Massa went flying up the inside. Safety car is out. Neutralises the race pretty much straight away. A couple of spots off the line now. Long trudge back to the end of lap 1. So just decided not to brake into turn 1. It was a bold move from the Williams. One in Belgium, similar sort of conditions, but much shorter run into turn 1 here. Season has been filled with lap 1 safety cars. They're still running. It's impressive enough in itself. He managed to get out of that unscathed as well. Since spinning. Across the line in at the end of lap 1 and 6. The safety car queue.
We think there's a viable strategy change available to us. Would you like to keep to the current plan or try the new one? Understood, copy that.
Team think it's time for intermediate tyres. We'll do it now while everybody's up together behind the safety car. Assuming the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. Whether everybody else will follow it in, I don't know. The team believe the rain is not as bad as it was at the start.
Safety car in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember there is no overtaking until the first safety car line. Stay in
Safety
position
car
until
will
the
come
green
in
flags.
this lap. Going in, get onto the inters. He joins us. Very slightly into the back of Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton really taking his time.
It's borderline, but if I were you, I'd come in and change tyres. I'm just not sure we're on the right ones for the conditions anymore.
Hamilton bolts now, and yet cars in the pits. Hamilton one of them, Vettel the other. Hulkenberg two, yeah, we've got half the field will come in, half the field will stay out. The Red Bull's in too. They're all the way down at the end of the pits. Grosjean's managed to jump us, but we've jumped Hamilton and Vettel, and I think it was Ricciardo.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Romain Grosjean somehow jumped us. Right, P12 though. A little dicey out here as we drift it down towards Raffles Boulevard. It is definitely intermediate conditions. The other half of the field have pulled in.
Come into the pits. Pascal in the pits now.
We'll wait whether we can jump them. Really wide through the final corner. It has been a bit of a sketchy lap,
You're
this one.
increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep this up.
Verstappen and Rosberg. Verstappen not quite past Rosberg. No, we should have tyres that are up to temperature as Hamilton and Verstappen go side by side. We go side by side with Rosberg, and we're through. After what, now the fourth race in a row, we're in the lead. Whether we can keep it on the straight and narrow, we keep in front of these guys. Wide into turn 5. Rosberg has a sniff around the outside, he's not making it there. Quite the queue of cars behind us. All of whom They're moving slightly faster. Let's just keep them at arm's length at the moment. Not many places to overtake here. Not safely, anyway.
We're seeing minor damage to the front wing. Be easy on the car till we get it repaired. We don't want to risk making this worse.
Clip the front wing ever so slightly, and we've torn a little bit off. You'll likely need a wing change at the pit stop. Okay with that. Feel we're just kind of holding everybody up at the moment, more than anything else. That's what Rosberg's had for a while. Can't quite get alongside though.
Okay, I think the feed track will be drying out quite soon. Mind you don't burn out your tyres.
So we might be moving to dry tyres as well. Soon. Dry might we just have enough pace to hang on to the top 10. Wide through the final corner. Rosberg to the outside of turn 1. We'll hold him off though. Give up the lead easily, regardless of how quick these guys are.
Okay, looks like some of those puddles are clearing. We're still on the right tyre for the time being, but we're not a million miles away from slick conditions.
It's that crossover point now. We'll have to move to dry tyres. Whether we fix the front wing and cede the track position, or leave it as it is. See how badly it affects us in dry running. I don't think it will. I think it's only a little bit. The front wing that's missing. It might mean that we get or maintain a decent track position. Everybody starts coming in to switch to the dries.
The track is drying. Let us know when it's time for slicks.
Just holding Rosberg at arm's length at the moment.
We're considering switching to an alternate strategy. Do you want to change or stick to plan A?
There's the time then.
Okay, copy that.
It's on the super soft. So there's only one stop on that tyre. We're going to come in at the end of this lap, put the super softs on. It is time, I think, for the dry tyres. Already scheduled to not fix the wing. We're going to just see how we go with that. Not cede too much track position, hopefully.
We think there's a viable strategy change available to us. Would you like to keep to the current plan or try the new one?
Jeff puts us on exactly the same strategy once again. In we come then for the super soft tyre. Tricky pit entry. Went a little wide, but we're okay.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is
Rosberg, they go through. Ricardo. I think that's Rosberg in. Ricardo carries on. Verstappen's in. Just about get out ahead of Rosberg. We're in P3. Just the top two stay out, Ricardo and Hamilton. Everybody else is in.
Pascal is in the pits.
Seeing how this car is, just a little bit of front wing damage in the super soft tyre. Take the lead, and can we stay amongst it to the end? Hamilton and Ricardo both in the pits. Hamilton just leaving, Ricciardo leaving now.
Hamilton has just taken the lead.
Yeah, jump back into first place. It might not be for long though. Rosberg right behind us. Run wide, that's going to give Rosberg a run. Surely the Mercedes will get past us. To the inside. They're going to try and hold it around the outside. There's a little bit of contact. Both survive. I continue to hold the lead, at least for now. To the inside at turn 1. Again, just out braking. Stay in front of him, but it's not going to be long, surely. Again. Don't break him. Keep him behind us. Yellow flag out. I think Vettel's out. Vettel is indeed out of the Grand Prix. And the safety car is out.
The safety car is out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down. Maintain positive delta.
Couple of laps behind the safety car. Just spice this up even more. Just holding off Nico Rosberg. We're going to have a couple of laps rest. It's going to be an even bigger queue of cars behind us ready to attack.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. You'll be controlling the pace on the restart. Keep it steady until the safety car has reached the pit lane.
Safety car is coming in. We're going to be controlling the pack through sector 3. I'm going to take my time a little bit with this, I think. We're going to be under some heavy pressure pretty much straight away. Really strong position here. It's going to be tricky to maintain it. Go now, though.
Green flag. Green flag.
Rosberg does come with me.
Our gap to our teammate is 8.9 seconds.
Outside at turn 1. Tries to do to us what we did to him earlier. Still there. He's still there. Nico Rosberg might have got the lead of this race. He tried to go around the outside onto the Raffles Boulevard. Oh, this is getting a bit tight. Verstappen there, Hamilton there as well. Rosberg gives us a nudge. We half spin. Then Raikkonen sends it on us. We're down to 7th. Back up to 6th. We have passed Raikkonen. But we have lost the lead. We've lost a few spots as well as Raikkonen once again has a look into turn 10. Keeping behind us. It was quite a feisty restart from Nico Rosberg. He caught us cold, but he absolutely flung it around the outside at turn 5. That was just on the exit. We half spun, out the wall, managed to get going quickly again. We've already lost spaces, lost spots, gone backwards. Yeah. Can we hang on to the points? yellow flag behind us. Not going to affect us going down here. Raikkonen, sorry, has a run. Ricciardo's got past Bottas. Will stay to the inside and a break for Finn.
It is 3.6 seconds.
We are hanging on for dear life a little bit here. There's only a couple of spots behind us.
Okay, some information on NASA. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
To our inside at the end of the Raffles Boulevard. Swing around the outside of them as Naz is going slowly near the back. A bit of a gap back from Button in 9th to whoever's in 10th. I thought it was Pascal, but it looks like he's slipped a bit backwards. So even if we do get passed by these three, we should still hold on to the points. But P6 would be better than P9 or P10.
Conditions still remain dry for a while. We will update you if the outlook changes.
Everything I can to defend cleanly so we don't get tipped into a wall. Top 5 are gone. Into the inside at one this time. Once again, sweet brained him, keeping behind us. Had incidents with all three of these drivers this season. Raikkonen in Germany that wiped us out of a very strong position. He's possibly through this time. Hulkenberg's going to try and go to the inside as well. Middle of 3, we survive and we stay in 6th. So this is getting desperate yet, but it is getting close. Raikkonen gives us a nudge. And he looks to the inside, we chop across his nose. Many more opportunities for him to attack now as we're closing to the end of this race. Fuel keep running in rich. There he goes. Hulkenberg to our inside as well. We'll outbrake the pair of them. And stay in 6th. This battle may be joined again. Perez is there. Get past me. I'm going to 10th. In the points. See if we can hold on. A lap and a half to go.
is 8.5 seconds.
And to our final lap of this Grand Prix, I think Kimi Raikkonen has made maybe a little bit of a mistake somewhere in the lap.
Has minor front wing damage.
He has.
The gap to the car
He's clipped the wall somewhere.
0.6
Means he's dropped back a little bit. Is that going to give us breathing room through the final lap? It's been like the eventful Singapore Grand Prix started in full wet conditions. We took the lead because we jumped everybody in the pit stops. We've not really ever been comfortable ahead of people today. Definitely not got the pace, realistically, to be fighting where we are, but we have defended well, defended cleanly.
This is your final lap of the race.
For the second safety car, Nico Rosberg found a way past us. Was on the way past as well for good measure, which
There's 4 laps of fuel remaining.
goes into a half spin, cost us a few positions. Since then, we've been trying to hold off Hulkenberg, Button and Raikkonen. Perez is at the back of the queue. Raikkonen, though, doesn't look like he's got the opportunity just here. Trying to lunge anywhere in this final sector. I really hope not. This is not a place to try and overtake unless somebody in front of you makes a mistake. Nico Rosberg, though, takes the race win. been quiet in his title defence this season.
Some information on Ricardo. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Wins here in Singapore. Ricardo's slowing down right at the death. As we rattle over the curbs, round the final corner, we will take P6 and back-to-back points.
Good job, you did really well. Super driving.
And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It's a good result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Kevin Magnussen. That was a commanding performance today, very impressive indeed.
And now let's take a look at the constructors' standings. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. After all that excitement, it's time for a lie down, I think. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye until the next race.
Well, we managed to hold out for P6 in the end. Nico Rosberg takes the win ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen in third, then it's Ricciardo. Bottas is fifth. Then we finish sixth ahead of Raikkonen, Hülkenberg, Button and Perez. We managed to claim points at Singapore once again. All but 2014 still the record here. Magnussen's 11th ahead of Wehrlein. Then it's Grosjean, Ericsson, Kvyat, Gutierrez, Sainz, Massa, Palmer, Fernando Alonso, Felipe Nasser and Sebastian Vettel didn't manage to finish. What does that do to the drivers' stand-ins? Well, Lewis Hamilton leads Max Verstappen by 82 points now. Nico Rosberg moves up to third ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, and Vettel slips to fifth. Ricciardo remains sixth with Bottas in seventh, and it's Massa, Hülkenberg, Perez, Button. We remain 12th, but we're now just 6 points off our championship rival. After that solid result, Alonso's 13th ahead of Kvyat, then it's Magnussen. Pascal is in 16th ahead of Sainz, Esteban Gutierrez, Felipe Nasser, Jolyon Palmer, Romain Grosjean and Marcus Ericsson. While in the constructors' stand-ins, Mercedes now lead Red Bull again by 94 points. Ferrari slipped to third ahead of Williams, Force India and McLaren. We remain seventh and pull further away from Toro Rosso, while Renault, Haas and Sauber round out the constructors. And another really solid result. Had to work for that one. Worked we did though, and we come home P6, take more points at Singapore. It's going to get more difficult, you feel, as the seasons go on, but we managed to maintain our record. Had an opportunity up at the front for a long period of that race. That little bit of contact with Nico Rosberg that put us into a half spin kind of cost us the opportunity maybe to fight for something higher, but we would have been under even more pressure than we were at the end there if we'd stayed ahead of Nico, and that might have resulted in us ending our race in the wall. We don't though, we survive, we bring the car home and we get back-to-back points. Maybe this could be a good sign for the run-in of this season. We head to Sepang next in a strange part of the season for Malaysia, normally at the start, but much like it was when it debuted. We're getting there near the end of this season. That was hard work, but I hope you enjoyed it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff, you know the drill. Hopefully I shall see you for the next one in Malaysia. Take care of yourself. Bye for now.